It is 3 in the morning, and you are wide awake, watching a meeting that ended 14 hours ago. Someone asked a question. You answered it. The answer was fine, probably fine. And now, your mind is running the tape again, frame by frame, listening to your own voice for evidence. Evidence of what, exactly, is never stated. That is the first strange thing about the replay. It has no stated goal. You are not trying to remember the meeting. You already remember the meeting. You could recite it. And yet the tape runs again and again, and each pass ends in the same place, which is nowhere, which is the beginning. If you are the kind of person who does this, who replays conversations, rereads sent texts, rehearses comebacks for arguments that ended days ago, you have probably tried to reason your way out. You have told yourself it doesn't matter, that nobody else is thinking about it, that the meeting is over. All of this is true, and none of it works, which suggests the problem was never a shortage of good arguments. Tonight, I want to show you what the replay actually is, according to a school of Buddhist philosophy that mapped this exact mechanism about 1600 years ago. Not to make it stop, I can't promise that, and neither can they, but to let you see it clearly enough that you stop mistaking it for thinking. The short version, and we will spend the rest of this essay earning it. The replay is not a search for what happened. It is maintenance of who you think you are. Start with a question that sounds trivial, and isn't. Why conversations? Of everything your mind could replay, at night, traffic, weather, the plot of a film, it chooses social moments with almost perfect reliability. The comment in the meeting, the text you sent and then reread 6 times, mentally redrafting it, long after it could be changed. The argument from last week, for which you are still, quietly, preparing a comeback, delivered to an audience of no one. The Yogācāra school, the consciousness-only school we met in the last essay, has a mechanical answer. Underneath the mind you experience, the one that reads and plans and talks, there is a process that never appears on stage. Call it the loop. Its full-time occupation is taking the deep layer of the mind, the storehouse, where everything you have ever practiced is stored as seeds, and constructing moment by moment a continuous you out of it. Not once, constantly. The sense that you are the same person who went to that meeting, sent that text, lost that argument. That sense is not a fact sitting in the background. It is being manufactured right now, and the manufacturing never clocks out. And conversations are the loop's raw material of choice, because a conversation is where the self was on display. When you replay the meeting, notice what the replay actually examines, not the budget numbers, not what anyone else said. It examines you. Did I sound stupid? Did they lose respect? That isn't the meeting being remembered. That is the self being re-verified, which brings us to the second question. Why 3 in the morning? If the loop runs all the time, why does the replay ambush you at night specifically? Here is the part most people get backwards. The loop is not louder at night. Nothing about it changes at night. What changes is everything else. During the day, the foreground of your mind is fully booked. Emails, sentences, stares, other people's faces. The loop runs underneath all of it, doing its maintenance work, but the noise of consciousness drowns it out. Then you lie down. The room goes dark. The inbox closes. The foreground, for the first time in 18 hours, has nothing scheduled. And a background process you have been running your entire life finally becomes audible. This is why the replay at 3 a.m. feels so ambushing and so intimate at once. It is not an intruder. It has been talking all day. You are only now quiet enough to hear it. Think of a refrigerator hum. You do not notice it while the television is on. Turn everything off, and the hum fills the house. The hum did not get louder. The house got quiet. This also explains a detail warriors know well and rarely say out loud. The replay chooses its moment with terrible precision, arriving exactly when you can do nothing about anything. You cannot email anyone at 3 a.m. You cannot apologize, clarify, or resign. The loop does not care, because, and this is the hinge of the whole essay, the loop was never trying to fix the situation in the first place. Consider what would have to be true for the replay to be problem-solving. A problem-solving process has a completion condition, a state of the world where it stops. You search for your keys. You find your keys. The search ends. Now look at the replay. What is its completion condition? What could you possibly conclude at 3 a.m. on the fourth pass through the same footage that would close it? Nothing, and here is why. No new information arrives at 3 a.m. The replay is drawing on a fixed archive. Every fact it will ever have, it had on the first pass. Whatever conclusion the fourth pass reaches, the fifth pass can reopen, because the conclusion was never the point. The point was the process. The replay is maintenance, not resolution. The loop confirming one more time that there is a self here, that it was in that room, that it can still be damaged. Asking when the replay will finish is like asking when your heartbeat will finish. It is not a task. It is upkeep. And it gets worse before it gets clearer. So let me say the worst part plainly. In the last essay we said the storehouse works by seeds. Every mental act plants one. Every repetition waters it. Yogācāra called that watering perfuming. Repetition soaking into the deep mind, the way smoke soaks into cloth. Every lap of the replay is a rep. Tonight's replay is watering tomorrow's, making the groove deeper and the next arrival easier. You are not reviewing the conversation. You are rehearsing the reviewing. If a 4th century theory of a cell-V manufacturing background process sounds too tidy, it is worth knowing what modern research found when it looked at brains doing nothing. There is a network in the brain. Researchers call it the default mode network. That is most active precisely when you are not doing anything, no task, no input, lying in bed in the dark, and it is strongly associated with self-referential thought. Thinking about yourself, your past, your standing with other people. The machinery that switches on when everything else switches off is the machinery of the self. Nobody in that field was reading 4th century Sanskrit treatises, as far as I know. The resemblance is not subtle. The research on rumination points the same direction. Ruminating feels like problem-solving from the inside, while reliably predicting worse outcomes, not better ones. The feeling of working on it is not the same as working on it. Yogācāra would not have been surprised. They had a name for this operation, by the way. Manas, the 7th consciousness in their 8 consciousness model of mind, the one whose entire job is mistaking the storehouse for a self. We will open up the full model it belongs to in a few essays. For tonight, the loop will carry the weight. One thing this essay is not. It is a description of a mechanism, not treatment for one. If the 3 a.m. mind is crossed from tiresome into frightening, if it is costing you sleep night after night, or the replays carry real dread, a professional who can sit across from you beats any video, including this one. That is not a disclaimer. It is the honest ranking. So what do you do at 3 a.m. mid-replay, now that you know what it is? Not what you have been doing. Not finishing it, because it has no finish. Not arguing with it, because arguing is another lap. The practice is smaller than either, and it is this. When you notice a replay running, say one word. Replay. Once. Silently is fine. Then let it run. You are not stopping the tape. You are not required to stop the tape. You are marking with one word the difference between living a conversation and watching a rerun of one. And that difference, small as it sounds, is the entire move this channel teaches. A thought seen is a different event from a thought believed. The word is not a weapon. It is a timestamp. Watching, not in. If you did the storehouse audit from the last essay, this is the same practice narrowed to one category. You are not cataloging everything the mind does. You are labeling one program, the one that owns the 3 a.m. slot. Some nights you will remember the word on the first lap. Some nights on the 10th. Some nights not at all. And nothing is owed for that. The count to is not the point. The seeing is. One last thing before you go, and it is where we are headed next. You have been assuming all this time that the conversation you keep replaying happened the way you remember it. Next essay, you have never seen the world, only your mind. Until then, you do not have to stop the replay tonight. Seeing is enough.